Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano catch-up, which I know haven't been that regularly over the last few weeks with the newborn in the house and putting the majority of my time into ADA markets, which we have put out a big release in the last few days. I will go through that briefly. Lots of other things to cover. Sundaeswap V3 is out there on testnet. Butane is out on testnet. Catalyst voting is open. Lenfi have open sourced their code for V2. We see IOG continuing their acquisition spree with Blockfrost this time. Charli3 Updates, Dex Hunter have enabled cross-chain swaps for Cardano, which is a really great feature to bring. Lots more probably. I will put timestamps down below. If you're new, subscribe, give the video a like, comment questions or anything I've missed below. Getting back into more regular content now with a few fairly big interviews coming up in the next few weeks. Let's jump into it. Okay, we'll kick it off with a very quick look at tap tools just to see what is going on in the top 10 for the last few days, and I will do a deeper video into this maybe in the next few days. So trending tokens, we have SNEC in at number 1, down 5% or nearly 6 for the last 24 hours. But if you look at the last 7 days, it's up 6.5. Over the last 30 days is down. World Mobile starting to make a bit of inroads in regaining some of its price. I'll touch on some of the stats for that one later on. IAGON in the last 24 hours down 7%, but I think if you look even over the last 7 days, it's down 1 and just over 1% and down 15.5 in 30 days. So these are all against ADA. When I do the dedicated video in the next few days, we'll look a bit deeper into why some of the projects are moving like this. Fluid token, very successful launch on MinSwap with the LBE and have been coming out with a lot of really good updates. Probably a team I will try and catch up with. I did have the interview a few weeks ago with the team, but definitely a lot has happened since then. So we'll try and catch up fairly soon. Cobb, not aware of this, looks potentially like another meme coin, but maybe I'll look into it after. Up 68%. And Jed up 2.8%. This is due to the price of ADA down slightly today. If we look at the top 10, not a whole lot has changed since we looked at this before. AGIX still with the market cap way out in front. World Mobile has regained number 2. SNEC in 3. Meld have been putting out a few updates lately. I need to dive a bit deeper into what's going on there. I think more on their own layer 1 rather than on the Cardano side, but it's had a decent effect or a nice effect on the price. Copy, few updates from them lately. Another team I'd like to catch up with fairly soon. IAGON, Lenfi, Min in number 8, Book 9 and NTX in number 10. Hunt kind of keeps swapping in and out here into the top 10 and just out of it. Cross-chain swaps, which we'll go through in a few minutes, was a really nice feature to come to Cardano in the last few days too. I'm going to do a dedicated video for ADA market, so I'm not going to go too deep into it here. We did put this out over the weekend with some of the new features that have gone in there. So things, path parameters, UI upgrades to the Pro dashboard, global swaps, mobile optimizations if you're using it on mobile. We spent a decent amount of time in this version to really help that experience and make it a lot more streamlined. If you come over and check out the site, so we'll turn off Pro mode for a minute. Anyone that hasn't seen it, this is what you get when you come on first. Whatever tokens you want to swap, ADA into World Mobile. So let's say 15,000 ADA into World Mobile. You can see it would split it over these dexes. You can get the information there. One thing we added in the last few days was under settings now, you have different themes. And we're looking to see what projects we should put in themes for. A popular one so far has been the SNEC theme. I do like the color scheme of this one myself. I did enjoy creating the image for this, and there's more like that coming along the way too. If you look at Hosky was another one that we put in, and more projects are in the works. So any you'd like to see, let me know, and I will do a dedicated video on this in the next few days. But it is open, still 0 UI fees for the next week or that while we remain in beta, but everything's live. You can do your swap, so make sure check it out and give your feedback. I will leave the links down below. Next, Lenfi. So Lenfi is a lending and borrowing platform on Cardano. It's a good few months now since I had the team on talking about what they had in version 1 and version 2 was in the works. They have open sourced their code now for V2, which does lead me to believe that they must be getting very close to launching on mainnet. So this will bring pooled lending for Lenfi. Version 1 was peer-to-peer lending, but I think pooled is definitely one that really takes it to the next level. So the link is there for the GitHub. I think This is brilliant for Cardano in general. A lot of people can come in and see how this is built, get examples of it, and be able to create their own contracts, their own protocols out of this. And it really does help kickstart a lot more projects and innovation on Cardano. Then we take a look at Catalyst voting is open at the minute. So Fund 11 is open and remains open until the 8th of February. So just over a week from the time of recording this. There is 50 million ADA up for grabs in this fund. So if you have projects that you really like, that have proposals in there, or ones that you think will be really worthwhile for Cardano, make sure and get in and support them. There are some rewards for people getting in and voting, not a huge amount, but it does cover more than the fees that it costs to actually register your wallet. If you registered in previous rounds, then you should be still registered for this one too. Next up, we look at IAG, or Input Output, are continuing to expand their acquisitions. Previous to this, they had taken over the NAMI wallet because it wasn't sure what the future was going to look like there. But we look at this one here, and this is for Blockfrost, which is the most used API on Cardano. API is for querying information about the Cardano blockchain without having to actually query the blockchain directly yourself. So you can query the API and it pulls back the information for you. So Marek has been around Cardano for a long time, around since the early testnet days, and has been a very good person to have around the community from the tech side, from the early days of Cardano. And he's not going anywhere either, with IOG coming in to invest and help push Blockfrost forward. He will be still in charge of this and pushing it forward. He will also be looking at other projects that IOG have. And I did see in the article, they did talk about trying to push this out, decentralized management of this in the future. Other APIs, I suppose, in the last few months or the last year that are starting to shine as well are Koyas and Maestro. I've had Marvin on the channel here talking about Maestro before. So there's two other APIs out there, and it's great to see multiple approaches out there and more options for people, because when there is competition, that always drives each individual project to put out a better platform. Next, we have World Mobile. So hit a new all-time high for unique users 2 days ago. This was 64,500 users, unique users, within a 24-hour period. Now, this fluctuates up and down in the short term, but in the longer term, I only see this number going one way. I know people want to see the price hitting all-time highs. Look, in time, I personally believe, no financial advice or anything, it will get there. But these are always really good metrics to be looking at too. If you follow WMT Scan, you can see this is the latest information. So you can see Pakistan, Zanzibar, and the 5 air nodes in the US. This is where you can keep up to date with all of the latest nodes that have been added into the network. If we look at the network stats, you can see total air nodes right now is 1,346. And the unique users in the last 24 hours is 63,500 users. And longer term, I think we're going to see a few zeros even on the end of this number. Down here, you get all the stats on the earnings for the different air nodes. Some of this is what's used then for the buybacks. You can see the World Mobile buybacks up to 693,000 in the balance right now. And part of the earning from the air node goes back into the network. I mentioned this a few times before. This is one of the reasons I really like it. This is funds earned outside of the blockchain space that are put back in, rather than just recycling funds from within the crypto space. When we're talking about deep in projects, IAGON are now up to 1.6 petabytes of data in their storage network, with 263 nodes across 44 countries. I did catch up with Navjeet probably maybe 2 weeks ago at this point. Anyone who didn't see it and is interested in the project, I will leave a link to that interview down below. Stablecoins have been a big topic on Cardano over the last few weeks, and there was a really good live stream, was it 2 days ago, with Fareed organized on his channel. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it with some other commitments on the day, but some really good guests over there talking about all the different options for stablecoins on Cardano, what the advantages, disadvantages may be. I will leave a link to that one down below too. But Intersect have also established a new stablecoin working group. So they're looking to take this further, see what options are out there, what options people would like to try and bring into Cardano, with USDC, USDT being options on other chains, USDM, the stablecoin that is being built natively on Cardano by Mehin, that is still due to be launched by March 16th. I'll try and catch up with the team before that date too. And then we also have IUSD and ZED. Probably a conversation I'll get into maybe in the next week or so. Try and bring a few people together, just like the previous one, to talk about what's going on. And I will dive into the Intersect MBO working group too. Next, we have a look at Dex Hunter. So Dex Hunter brought out a really big feature in the last few days, and that was cross-chain swaps for Cardano. So if we look at this, what this means is at the minute, if you come into Dex Hunter, you can see cross-chain over here on the left in beta. You have the option to sell Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, Arbitrum, DAI, Tether or USDC on Ethereum. Sell any of them for Cardano native assets. So you do this by connecting up your MetaMask wallet for Ethereum. If you are looking to connect something like Solana, you'll see then if I look at the wallets, actually I don't have the Phantom wallet installed in this browser, but that's the one it would suggest for Solana. And then you can swap your Solana into any of the Cardano native assets. What happens basically in the background is the Solana gets sold for ADA. The ADA then gets sold for the different Cardano native assets. And then you, on your end, you send in the Solana. Then on the other side, you get back out whatever asset you wanted into your Cardano wallet. So you can see in this case, it would be WMT. I will be sitting down with Nick, or better known as Melon, over on Twitter. I think that one's set for next week, so any questions, do leave them down below. I did see some questions about, or some comments about the 10% slippage. At the minute, that's been set to ensure the swaps go through. I'm sure that this in time will be configurable, that you will be able to change this and set it at a lower slippage. But that's one that I can ask Nick about when we have a chat next week. But overall, great to see features like this coming to Cardano. I also had a chat actually with the Maya protocol, who are looking to add Cardano into their decentralized approach to cross-chain swaps. So that's an interview. I will leave a link down below if you're interested in that. And they do have proposals in for Catalyst this time if you want to vote and hopefully bring that along quicker to Cardano. They did say they will be building it either way, but the funding would definitely help speed up that process. Next, Charli3. So one of the Oracle solutions on Cardano have made a big step forward, I think, in transparency here with their developer portal. And if we just go in and take a look, there is an article talking all about it here, but if we actually just go straight into the portal, then you can see here the options that you have now is these are the different feeds that are currently available on Cardano. You can see the deviation. So this is if the price deviates by this, then it gets updated, the update frequency. So this is if there was no deviation, then it would only be this. And then the number of updates in the last 24 hours. So you can see for the different pairs, here you go. You can see ADUSD has a smaller deviation and there's been more updates in the last 24 hours. Also, there is how to integrate. So if you're looking to integrate some of these into your protocol, then you can do that here. And I think this is a really good step forward for the transparency of what's going on there and letting people get a bit more confidence in this. I know they will be opening up the node operators fairly soon too. So we'll see how that goes. And as soon as there's details on it, I will bring them to you here. So next up, we look at AXO Trade, and they are still set to launch next week as far as I'm aware. And they put out a post today talking about how many AXO would be unlocked when it goes live. It comes to roughly 1.6 million AXO. That is just under 4% of the supply will be available for launch. So that means that it shouldn't be a massive amount to sell pressure, especially with the LSE and everything that has gone on there. There is also 10% of the platform rewards, which is 1.8 million AXO will be available, but they're not ones that are immediately available for sale. They will kind of come into circulation over a longer term when people earn them for participating in the protocol. So you can see the breakdown there. And as well, we did see a big uptick in Plutus V2 Scripts in the back here on the 8th of January, and since then it has been steadily climbing. A lot of this here initially, as far as I'm aware, the initial spike was for the vesting contracts. So if you look back here, part of the tokens that will be available is for the private sale and for the early adopter airdrop, which was people who were involved in the ISPO and who continued through with the KYC process when things changed there. So everyone who is claiming, everything is done through a smart contract. So if we look at the jump here, you can see comes in line with around when the smart contracts would have been enabled for the users getting involved. Also the LSE and all of the trading that's going on there would all be done through V2 contracts. I would expect that the new contracts coming out now, we're not really going to see many new V1 contracts. We're going to be seeing V2 contracts coming out. Good place to keep track of this is on Cardano Blockchain Insights, and I will leave a link to this one down below. Another really good way to keep up to date with some of the different stats going on around Cardano. Then we look at Sunday Labs. So Sundaeswap have released their testnet for V3. So on the surface, you're not going to see a huge amount of difference. So they go through some of the changes here of what's going to happen. This is all about upgrading the contracts to V3 or to V2 contracts. The protocol is going to V3 because V2 for them was the whole UI update. So V3 of the protocol will be V2 Plutus Scripts, and Pi has been on before and talked about the huge improvement this is going to bring. There's also going to be a lot of new types of orders and different things possible with these contracts. You can go in and check out the testnet here. One of the differences you will see is that the liquidity pools, some of them now are going to be on the protocol version V3, while some of the older ones will still be on V1. There is also going to be a migration process, so all of the liquidity in the old pools will need to be pushed into new pools. So we will see this. It will take a bit of time. It won't be the day that the likes of Sundaeswap go live with V2 contracts and MintSwap go live that we're going to see everything moved across. It will take time because everyone needs to move their own liquidity, but all of that is definitely going to help with chain congestion on Cardano. Also the SIP that Pi put in to be able to use the reference scripts in for V1, then it does look like that is going to be pushed forward. It has been given a SIP number, so hopefully in the next few months we will see that implemented, which will, I suppose, make the impact of V1 scripts on the chain a lot better. It means they won't take up near as much room as they currently are. So I look at Butane. So this is a synthetics protocol launching on Cardano. Testnet is now out, and they're really looking at interoperability and what they can do there. So they said, we have a sweet demo for you. So this here was about minting a synthetic, but as they minted it, it also went and automatically sold on Sundaeswap. So this is like, if you were looking to mint a stablecoin, so you're using some of your ADA or something else as collateral, you mint the stablecoin. The reason you're minting it is to sell the stablecoin straight away, so you can go in and then buy something else. Things like this, it looks like you will be able to automate that. So rather than you having to mint it and then go and sell it in separate transactions, it looks like they're going to be trying to automate a lot of that process for you, helping you skip one of the steps. So I'll leave links to the Butane DevNet down below too. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this has given you some insights into what's going on Cardano, getting back to a lot more regular content going forward. Any questions, any requests, do let me know down below. Thanks for watching. Give the video a like, really does help, and I'll talk to you soon.